Hello and welcome to everybody who has connected with me today on Friday the 13th. I could not let Friday the 13th go unnoticed. I had to do a Friday the 13th reading for us today. And this is going to be your Friday the 13th pick a card. And I have laid out some cards to show you the kind of spread that we're working with. I have got a gorgeous assortment of crystals on the table that I think just are going to feed into our theme really, really well. I've got a candle for some light, and yeah, I think this is going to be a load of fun today. So Friday the 13th, normally people are not really excited and enthusiastic for Friday the 13th, but I do love it. I do really do appreciate it and enjoy it. And one of the things, I know it's a big superstition, and not everybody believes or follows superstitions, but everybody believes Friday the 13th is a bad luck day. And I actually today, I want to show you all that Friday the 13th is not such a bad luck day, because actually just understanding the secret power of Friday the 13th, and to explain to you that it is actually a really positive good luck day today. Friday the 13th is associated with the 13 cycles of the moon in a lunar year. So if you look at, we have a full moon every 28 days, and if you do that 28 days throughout the year, there are actually 13 full moons in a year. So there are 13 moon cycles that we have within a calendar year within our system. And even women generally have 13 menstrual cycles in a year, and women generally ovulate on the 13th day. So it's not all bad. It's actually about luck, it's about prosperity, it's about good fortune, it's about good opportunities, and that's what we're working with today. So keeping with the theme of Friday the 13th, as I said, I have laid out, I've got my crystal skull, I've got an angel for good luck. I have chosen two of my amethyst crystals, and these are Chevron amethysts. This is a dragon tooth chevron, and this is just a plain double terminated, double pointed chevron amethyst to bring a lot of positivity and a lot of good luck into our reading. And the cards that I'm working with today. So I have used this deck already this week, so forgive me for using it 2 weeks in a row, or twice in 1 week, I should say. And I know a lot of you don't like it, but it is the gorgeous Deviant Moon Tarot. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit quirky, it's a little bit out there, and I think it's so appropriate for Friday the 13th. So I'm only using one card from the deck, from this Deviant Moon deck. So just to show you here, Deviant Moon is by Patrick Valenza. He is the creator of this deck. And this little mini deck that I've got here is also by Patrick Valenza. So we're using him today on our Friday the 13th. And this is for Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle. And you can see it's Deviant Moon Incorporated by Patrick Valenza. Again, it's a little bit of a strange one, but it is just truly, truly fabulous. So this is the second edition of his of his Secret Pocket Oracle. And then on the end here, I thought I would bring some Forest Fae into the mix. So we're going to get a card from the Forest Fae Oracle as well. So what I've done today is, again, it is Friday the 13th, and I understand the superstitions and the fears and the insecurities that we all have around Friday the 13th. So I have got 5 questions that I have written out that we're going to work with. So we've got 5 questions here, and then this is just going to be, let's call it bonus material, a bonus message from Spirit on for the message, for the reading, for everything today. So if you are finding me for the first time, if this is your first Friday pick a card with me, welcome. And to all my returning friends, extra special welcome to you. So how does this work? Well, you get to look at the picture. You get to decide which of the bundles, which of them has the message, the reading, and the guidance that you're looking for. I do think what I want to do today, and I know I've got 4 crystals laid out here, but I think you get to pick a crystal, and each crystal is going to have a message. Each crystal is going to have a reading for you. So are you going to go with the angel? Are you going to go with the skull? Are you going to go with the big chevron amethyst, or are you going to go with the small chevron amethyst? So oopsie, there will be 4 4 readings and 4 messages for Friday the 13th. So you get to pick which one of those is the one that you're drawn to. Which one of those do you think is going to have the message, the reading, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today? And then if you open up the description box below, or if you just look below this video, you will have the timestamps to take you straight to your reading. So let's get straight into it and see. And I do hope you enjoy. And remember, if you do enjoy your reading, if this did give you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of inspiration, please do give the video a thumbs up. And I would love a little comment from you below. Let's get on. We're going to start off with the angel, and we will move through all of the crystals to give you a good reading today. Hello and welcome to those of you who have chosen the angel as the crystal that has the reading, the message, the guidance and the inspiration that you need today. So we are doing Friday the 13th today, and I have got a very interesting spread laid out here for us. If you want to know what cards I've used in today's reading, please do check out the intro because all of that information is there. I want to get straight into this reading because I can't wait to see what Friday the 13th has in store for you. What is the message from Friday the 13th for you today? So the first card we're going to have a look at is what is the energy around you today. So what is the around you specifically, what is sort of hovering and floating around you? The energy that we have for you today is the fabulous magician. I love it. So the magician in tarot is all about creation. It's all about magic. It's all about illusion, but it's all about recognizing that you have everything that you need to achieve whatever it is that you desire. So you can see that he is standing on a stage. I know he's got an extra pair of arms, and wouldn't we all like to have an extra pair of arms from time to time? But what we need to see is that in each of his four arms, he holds something. He has got a stick, he's got a coin, he's got a sword, and here he's sticking his finger in a glass of wine, okay? Each of these objects give him the ability to create or to manifest anything that he desires. And this is the energy around you today. So as much as Friday the 13th can be scary, as much as Friday the 13th can be a bit daunting, what you need to understand today is that you have the potential, you have the ability to manifest anything that your heart desires. So if you are thinking about your stresses and your anxieties and your worries, you will be manifesting that. If you're thinking about your successes, your victories, the things that are going well, if you're practicing gratitude, if you're doing all of that, that is exactly what you're manifesting. So pay attention to what you say, pay attention to your actions, pay attention to what you do, and pay attention to your thoughts today because they are going to manifest incredibly quickly. And that really is the energy that is around you today. Okay, so we're now going to move on to this little oracle deck that we have here. And I am going to tell you that some of these cards can look a little bit weird and a little bit creepy, but bear with me, okay? Bear with me. It's not all bad. I've chosen the decks on purpose this week, and I get that it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but bear with me. It's going to be okay. So the next question we're asking here is, what can you expect? So this is the energy that's around you today. You have the energy of manifestation, the energy of creation around you today. Let's see from Mildred Payne, Secret Pocket Oracle, I will get it right eventually, what you can expect to happen today on Friday the 13th. Right, they are quite little. So we have card 67, which is the star. The star is a card of hope. The star is the message of hope, the message of guidance, the message of inspiration. So what can you expect today? You can expect things to work out. You can expect things to actually go well. And again, Friday the 13th isn't typically known for disaster, for bad luck, but this is telling you what can you expect today. A lot of positivity and a lot of things developing and happening the way that it should. So be hopeful, be positive, expect good things to happen because the star is definitely saying to you that there's going to be a sudden sense of clarity, a sense of understanding, and a sense of illumination over what it is that you are manifesting in your life. Isn't that amazing for Friday the 13th? We're going to go on to our second of these four cards. And the question we're asking here is, okay, so it is Friday the 13th. What should you avoid today? So this is what you can expect. This is what you need to avoid. Let's have a look and see what we've got. We have got card 24, which is the mirror. So it's telling you not to look at yourself in the mirror. I'm joking. So the mirror is all about illumination, reflection. The mirror is about reevaluating your perceptions, reevaluating your belief of yourself. So remember what we were saying here. The energy around you today is the energy of manifestation, the energy of creation, recognizing that you create your own reality. What can you expect today? Success, happiness, joy, hope. Things will actually be illuminated. You will have a moment of clarity and you will have understanding. What should you avoid? You should avoid looking at yourself and being super critical. You should avoid your your negative reflections on yourself. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, make sure that your thoughts, make sure that your the mindset and the ideas that you have going through your head and what you say about yourself, make sure that it's really, really positive. Don't allow yourself to look at yourself, be critical and judgmental. You need to make sure that we avoid that. So what should you avoid today with the mirror? The mirror is basically saying to you, that you need to avoid judgment, self judgment. It really is about self judgment, isn't it? It's about avoiding looking at yourself and being super, super critical, because we don't want to be that. We don't want to be that person. Okay, so self reflection, reevaluating your perceptions, and being vain and thinking that you are perfect. So that's what to avoid today. Right. Obviously, it is Friday the 13th, and everybody's a bit nervous about it, and everybody's a bit apprehensive about it. So, here, what we're looking at with card 4 out of all the cards that we have is how to make the best of today. So, we've looked at that. Let's see how to make the best of today's energies and the things around you today. We have got, I have to chuckle, card 13, and it happens to be the card of the dreaded skull. And of course, I knew I had to have my crystal skull with us today. So, what does the skull represent? Let's unpack that a little bit. Let's explain that a little bit. So, the skull is the bones of the human. It's the bones of the animal. It's the bones, okay? And the skull contains the head, the brain, the intellect, the understanding. It also is the place that we take in oxygen. It's the place we take in sounds. It's the place we take in nourishment and take in food. So, it is the bones. It's the core of that animal, of that human being. The skull also represents thoughts and feelings of your mortality. So it's about recognizing that whatever this journey is that you're on, that it is a limited time journey, and that after a while it will come to an end. It will stop and you will return back to earth. Your bones will return. So it is about the end of a cycle. And I honestly believe, looking at, I mean, we haven't even looked at the last two cards yet, but looking at the fact that we have the magician, we have the star, we have the mirror, and now we've got the skull. I think this is telling you that if you recognize who you truly are, look at yourself in the mirror openly and honestly, and see that actually you're not such a bad person. See the light that you give off to the world. Remember, you've chosen the angel, and angels are all about gentleness and love and understanding. So the skull is basically saying to you, it's time to change our perceptions. It's time to change the way we see ourselves and to recognize that we're actually pretty fabulous, okay? And that it's all part of a journey and it's all part of a cycle, and cycles come and cycles go. Life starts, life ends. It's the way it goes. But when we let go of our physical form, we evolve into stardust. Sorry, I had to say, we evolve into stardust and we become spirit and we become awesome, amazing, whole again. This physical is what's holding us back. So, really, what this is saying to you, how to make best of today, is by recognizing the cycles of life, recognizing who you are, what you're capable of, the cycles that you're going through. Hold on to hope and don't be so super critical of self. All right. And card 5, question 5. What can you do to turn your luck around today? Now, so if you are going through a bit of a difficult period, if you are struggling, if you're finding life a bit challenging at the moment, what can you do to turn your luck around today? Let's see what we've got. We've got card 45, and 45 is the card of poison. So please, this is not telling you to drink poison. This is certainly not telling you to 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 ingest anything that's bad for you. But what can you do to turn your luck around? The poison is telling you is to recognize the toxic people in your life, recognize the toxicity of circumstances and situations, and eliminate the poison. Okay, so we're not taking the poison on, we're getting rid of it, we're chucking it out, because we're recognizing who we are, we're seeing ourselves for who we truly are, and we are recognizing poison not allowed. Okay, isn't it so interesting how we've got the two skulls? And I know this is a bit of a dark Oracle deck. It's fabulous. We've got dark Oracle decks all around, and the message that's coming through for you here today, for all of you who chose the angel, recognize who you are, what you're capable of. Hold on to hope and shed light on situations. Be honest with yourself. Look at yourself with a non-critical eye. Recognize the cycles and the changes that are coming through, and get rid of the poison in your life. Don't hold on to the poison bottles. Rather dispose of them, get rid of them, so that there is no chance of accidents, there is no chance of toxicity in your life. I think that's actually quite a fabulous message. And then finally, this is from the Forest Fae. Let's get a message from the Forest Fae to confirm, to contribute, or to add on to this. Let's see what we get. So, oh, you see, as I say to you guys, I can't make this stuff up. So we have got the spiny sister, and she's telling you to take pride in yourself, spines and all. Doesn't matter how spiky your hair is. It doesn't matter how, you can't brush it and you can't make it pretty, but she is really telling you to take pride in yourself. So she is she is contributing, she is comparing and being part of that message. And she's saying to get rid of, if anybody says to you that your spiky hair is not fabulous, get rid of them, because they are poison in your life. She's saying to you, stand tall, be proud. Take pride in yourself. See yourself in all your beauty. Don't see your flaws. Don't see your faults. See your magnificence. See your beauty. Get rid of the toxicity and recognize that, you know what, sometimes earthbound energies are tough and are hard, and that's okay. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself, and recognize that you can create whatever it is. So whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, whatever's going on with you right now is the energy that you are manifesting in your life today. Friends, short, sweet, to the point, and fabulous. I think that message is just perfect for every single one of you. I do hope it resonates. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the crystal skull as the crystal that has the reading, the message, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you are curious as to the cards that I'm working with today, please do check out the intro. And in the intro as well as a little bit of information around the secret power of Friday the 13th. I am very excited and very keen to get into your reading to see what is the message that Friday the 13th has for you today. So let's get straight into it. We're looking at the first card over here, and we are using a deck that not everybody's fond of, but it really is amazing for today's reading. And we're looking at what is the energies around you today. What is the energies, what's in the wind, what's in the air, what's the energy around you today for this reading in this particular moment. And we have, oh, I like that, the Ace of Cups. Just look at her eyelashes, aren't they just fabulous? So Ace of Cups, she is lovingly holding a huge big cup. She is embracing it, she's holding it, she's keeping it close to her heart, because she is welcoming and attracting new positive emotional energies into her life. So friends, for all of you who chose the crystal skull, the message that's coming through, the energy around you today is an energy of drawing near with people who are important and significant in your life. So today, Friday the 13th, it's about drawing in, it's about connecting with, and it's about allowing those interactions with people. But this talks about a new energy. Okay, Ace of Cups is about a new energy, a new emotion coming into play that you need to hold on to, that you need to draw near and keep close to your heart. And almost, I want to say to you, get excited about it. So it doesn't specifically reference a new relationship, but it does represent a new emotion. So even if you are in a relationship and everything's been fine and dandy for the longest time, or troublesome and problematic for the longest time, understand that there's a new emotion, a new element to that emotion that's coming into play today for Friday the 13th. You might find everything just being a little bit, I'm going to use the word interesting today. All right. I am now going to go on to this little pocket oracle. It's Mildred Payne's pocket oracle to get the other questions. And this deck, some of the imagery can be a little bit off-putting. Some of the imagery can be a little bit scary, but just bear with me, okay? Because it really is going to give us a fabulous reading today. So this is the energy that is around you today. We're now going to look at this card over here, which is going to tell you what you can expect today, Friday the 13th. What can you expect today considering the energy that's around you? If I can pick the card up. We have got card 27, and you can see it is wall, and it is a brick wall that is around you. So there is some kind of obstacle, there is some kind of thing, some kind of a thing, some kind of an obstacle in your way that is preventing you from moving forward. But what we have to understand is that this wall creates boundaries, okay? This wall creates safe, secure protection boundaries. It's either keeping you in or it's keeping something else out. So you have to determine that. And I honestly think, looking at card one that we've got here, this Ace of Cups, which is about a new emotional energy coming through, and this is the energy that's around you today. I do think this card 27, with what you can expect today, with the boundaries, with the walls going up, it's basically saying to you, you've got to recognize the walls that you have up already. What defense mechanism or defense structures do you have around you that is preventing new emotional energies to come through? So let's be mindful of that. Let's be cognizant of that. And let's maybe ask ourselves, are the walls appropriate? Are they valid? Are they necessary? Do you need to keep them up, or should you even just remove one brick in the wall to give an opportunity for a new emotion to enter in, to come through, to connect with you? Okay, so I think that's quite an interesting one for you to sort of work out for yourself. So what is the energy around you today? There is a lot of loving, positive, new emotional energy that wants to come through. What can you expect? Well, you've got walls up, and it's about deciding, are those walls sufficient? Are they too much? What should we do with the boundaries and the obstacles that we have around us? So that's what you can expect. Now we're going to look at, what do you need to avoid? What should you avoid today? Friday the 13th, superstition and all that. What should you avoid today? And the card we have there is card 69, and card 69 is the harp. So nobody plays harp anymore. Well, I think there's very few people who still play harp these days. But we need to understand, what does the harp represent? It represents tranquility. The sound is very angelic, it's very gentle, it's very nurturing, it's very kind. The harp, whenever we play the harp, it's almost signifying a positive. It's almost like when you hear a harp playing, it's something good, it's something positive. But this is the kind of what you should avoid. And I'm going to say to you that this harp is basically saying to you, don't. Okay, so you've got your emotional walls up. I'm going to get to that in a second, all right? But as I said, bear with me today. You've got your emotional walls up. There is somebody, something, there is a situation that wants to come through. You've got your walls up. What you need to avoid is imagining that everybody is fabulous. So the harp is all about peaceful, tranquility, happiness, joy, all of those kind of positive things. But maybe this energy needs more walls up. So maybe we need to understand, okay, what can you expect? We're talking about this structure. We're talking about the structure of protection, of closed in, of keeping the walls up. And maybe that's telling you what to avoid today is that everybody who is connecting with you, and everybody that's engaging with you, and everybody that's coming into your space, maybe you're painting them with a positive brush. You're trusting and believing in them when maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we need to raise the walls. Maybe this is something that you should expect today, and avoid everybody who looks fabulous. So people who come into your space who seem to be kind, who seem to be gentle, who seem to be loving, maybe that's not really who they are. Maybe it's a bit of a trick. Maybe it's a bit of a trickster. Today is Friday the 13th after all. So just be mindful of that. And what you need to avoid is, you need to avoid the things that look obviously kind, obviously gentle, and obviously nourishing, because there's obviously something sinister happening behind that. So avoid that today. All things considered, it is Friday the 13th. With this particular card today, we're asking how to make the best of today. So looking at the situation that's unfolding, looking at the story that's coming through for you, how to make the best of the energies of today. What do you need to do to take advantage and to make the best of the situation that we have around you? Boot them out. We've got card 20, and you can see I'm trying to make light of Friday the 13th, because people do panic about Friday the 13th. People are very fearful of it. And sometimes we just need to look at it from a different perspective. So the boot is about moving forward. It is about, when you put your boots on, you are preparing to go on an adventure. You're preparing to venture out. You're preparing for action, okay? And you know that if you don't put your boots on, you're going to hurt your feet and you're going to be stepping on stones. And who knows, you might actually cut your feet open. So how to make the best of today? Be prepared, because that's what the boot is telling you. Put your shoes on, put your protection on. So again, I do think with this one here, the message that's coming through there is maybe we need to put the walls up. I was thinking it's taking the walls down, but it's let's be aware of and think to ourselves, when do we need the walls and when can we remove the walls? And the boot, the question we asked here is how to make the best of today, and it's telling you be prepared. Okay, put the protection on, put the shoes on before you venture out. Get prepared for the adventure of this new energy, this new emotion that's coming around you today. So the energy around you today is new emotional energy. What can you expect? We need to have some form of protection. What you should avoid is people who just appear to be too nice. How to make the best of today? Be prepared and put your shoes on. No walking barefoot today. And finally, card 5, we'll get onto that one in a minute. But card 5 is what can you do to turn your luck around? So if things start going pear-shaped, if things start getting complicated, if things start getting difficult, what can you do to turn your luck around so that this situation plays out in your favor and doesn't become an obstacle or a challenge for you? So what can you do to turn your luck around today on Friday the 13th? We have got card 18, and card 18, as you can see, is the card of water. Now, we all know that water is representative of emotions, okay? But water is also representative of purity, of life. Also, our subconscious thoughts, the stuff that happens beneath the surface, okay? It's also about, I want to say it's the things unseen. So when you look at the water, and in this particular card, you can see the water is a little bit choppy and there's some waves and whatever else. We cannot see what lies beneath, what lies under. So what can you do to turn your luck around? I'm telling you now, it's about watering down all the situations, okay? Watering down all the situations, but it's also about recognizing that from wherever you are, wherever you're looking, wherever you're standing, that you cannot see what's beneath the surface. So going back to here, what you should avoid, this is Spirit saying to you that if somebody comes along and they are oozing kindness and oozing generosity and oozing sweetness, what are they hiding? What is that a mask of? What is that covering? And you need to look beneath the surface. So how do you turn your luck around? Don't take things at face value. Okay, simple. Today, emotionally, don't take things at face value. Be prepared for anything. Be prepared for everything and look beneath the surface. And if you do that, if you look beneath the surface, you will find the answers that you're looking for. Okay, you will find the answers that you are looking for. Right. I like this. I'm so enjoying this. You might notice that I'm having far too much fun with this particular reading today. We're going to look at our last card, and this is from the Forest Fae Oracle. So it's getting a message from the Forest Fae, confirming, adding to, let's see what we get on the situation that we have today. It says, away we fly. And it says, can't read what it says. Take the cloud roads, delight in your imagination. And I think that's exactly what I'm doing today, isn't it? Delighting in my imagination. So we have this beautiful duck bird with with wheels, and we are flying away. We are taking the road clouds. We're taking the road less traveled. I really think that's its message, is take the road less traveled and delight in your imagination. So it's about trusting and believing in yourself, in these energies. Don't just go with the flow. Actually question, challenge, go against the grain a little bit, okay? Go against the grain a little bit and take the cloud roads. Don't always stick to earth. Let's look at other opportunities. Let's look at other methods. Let's look at other processes. So friends, for those of you who chose my crystal skull as the as the message that has exactly what you need to hear, there is new energy coming through, new emotional energy that's coming around, that is around you today, that is coming through. What you can expect is that maybe you need to put your protection up. Maybe you need to be a little bit secure in what you do and how you do it. with what you should avoid. Avoid all things that appear to be just perfect. Avoid all things or people that appear to be fabulous, because there is something that you're not aware. There is something that's happening beneath the surface. How do you make the best of today? By being prepared and putting your boots on. And what can you do to turn your luck around? Explore all your options, look beneath the surface, don't take things at face value, but also water everything down a little bit, including this message that I'm giving you today. And the message from the forest fae is away we fly. So it's about going with it. It's not about stopping. It's not about holding back. It's not about stopping the circumstance and the situation and this new energy. It's about going with it. Fly away with it, but let your imagination guide you while you've got your boots on and while you are prepared. So, friends, I do hope that you enjoyed your reading today. I do hope Friday the 13th is not as bad and as scary as you expected or imagined it to be. See it for what it is, but be safe, because you've got two cards of protection here, two cards of making sure that you are secure and safe. And if you do that, I'm sure you're going to have an amazing Friday the 13th. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the large Chevron Amethyst Dragon's Tooth crystal as the crystal that has the reading, the message, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today. Welcome. I have shuffled and laid out some cards, and if you are curious as to the decks that I'm working with today, please do check out the intro, because all that information is there. And yeah, I am going to say to you that these decks that I'm working with, not so much this one, but these two decks that I'm working with, are a little bit strange, peculiar, and absolutely, truly fabulous. And I have had so much fun doing all these Friday the 13th readings, and I can't wait to see what we get in your spread today. So we're going to get straight into it. I have got 5 questions that I've written out that we're going to be working with, and then finally we will get a message from this particular oracle over here. So we're going to start off with here, and the first card we're going to have a look at is the energy that is around you today. So what is the energy? What's in the air? What's in the water? What's the energy around you today for Friday the 13th? Let's see what we get. Oh, I love that. So we have got card 13. Of course we do. We have got card 13, and card 13 is, in the traditional tarot, it is the card of death. It is the card of transformation. It is the card of change. So what we have looking at, I mean, and I know this is a quirky deck. I know this is a weird, peculiar. So just, I'm going to say to you, bear with me, okay? Just bear with me today on these readings, and I promise you it's going to be amazing. Right. So what is the energy around you today? It is the energy of change and transformation. So you've got to recognize that today, Friday the 13th, there is the opportunity to make some positive changes in your life. But in order to make the positive changes that you want, that you need, and that you should be making, you have to be a little bit brave. Just like listening to this message, you have to be a little bit brave. You have to be a little bit courageous and a little bit prepared to climb out of your comfort zones. And that's exactly what we've got here with this card, because this card is telling you change and transformation. It's telling you that the old you has to stop existing in order for the new you to be born and to come to light. We have to stop one thing in order to start another. It's just like, and I'm going to use the example of driving a car. If you are driving a car, you cannot drive 2 cars at the same time. If you want to shift from one car to another, you have to stop driving this one to get into this one to start driving. And that's exactly what this card is saying. It's time to let go of you that doesn't work, of the you that isn't fabulous, of the you that's not living your best life, in order to allow the change to come and the new you to step into light. Okay, it's about recognizing that in order for you to progress, we have to make some changes. So this isn't telling you that there's going to be changes today, but what it is saying to you is the energy around you is the energy of change. So you can take advantage of it if you want to. And today, Friday the 13th, is really a fabulous day to take advantage of change. Right. So That is the energy that is around you today. And now we're going to have a look at these 4 cards, and I've got 4 different questions written out that we're going to be working through. This particular deck, some of the images of these cards can be like really daunting and really off-putting, but again, I'm going to say to just bear with me. Let's go with it. It's a very simple oracle deck, but its interpretations, its meanings, and the way that I read it can be quite interesting indeed. So we're going to look at the first one, and the question we're asking here is, so this is the energy around you today, and now we're going to have a look at what can you expect today. So this is the energy, this is what's in the air, this is what's in the water, but this is what can you really expect to happen today on Friday the 13th. And what we have is card 54, and it is the card of the bee. So we know that bees make honey. We know that bees work in colonies. We know that a bee sting hurts. We know all of those things, don't we? But what can you expect today? The bee is hard work. You know, I honestly, every time I see the bee, I think of the worker bee, and I think how they don't stop. They never complain. They never moan. They just get on and do whatever it is they need to do, continuously, repetitively, over and over and over again. They take action. They work towards a common goal. They work towards their goal. And they never stop and complain. They never take a lunch break. They just go, go, go the whole time. So hard work and productivity is really what the bee is giving you. So today is an energy around you of change, of transformation, of rebirth, if I can use that word. And what can you expect today? Well, a lot of hard work. You're going to have to work really hard at something today. We're going to go on to card 3, because as we open or turn more cards, so the story becomes more evident and becomes clearer. Question 3 that we have is, what should you avoid today? So this is the energy around you. This is what you can expect. Now we're going to have a look and see what should you avoid today, if I can pick the card up. Right, we've got card 7, and card 7 is the tooth. So we don't want to avoid teeth, because teeth are important and we need our teeth, don't we? But if you think about it, all right, so now the story starts truly unfolding. The tooth is something that you develop when you are young, and as you develop into adulthood, the tooth comes through. We often think of our teeth as permanent. We often think of our teeth like bones, you know, that it's something that we're going to have forever. But when you do lose a tooth, that loss is permanent as well, isn't it? So the tooth, the meaning of the tooth here is a separation, a pulling apart, a loss of something. And possibly even it's saying to you that something that you thought would never change, something that you thought would never let you down or never break or never give up on you, may actually happen today. So this is telling you what you should avoid today. So I do think it's telling you, don't take things for granted. Okay, that's what you need to avoid. You need to avoid taking things for granted today. Today, it's about hard work. It's about recognizing that we want to make some shifts and changes, but it's also about recognizing that just because something's always been permanent doesn't mean that it's going to carry on that way. Today, we need to avoid losing our teeth. We need to avoid letting go of and losing things that we've always thought were positive. So we need to avoid that today. I think that makes a lot of sense. We're going to go into card 4 over here. And card 4 is how to make the best of today. It is Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th generally comes with a whole lot of negative connotations and negative thought processes and fears and insecurities and all of that. So how can we make the best of today, considering what we already know? And the card that we have there is Iceberg. It's card 53, which is beneath our B of 54. So iceberg. We all know when we see an iceberg that what you're seeing above the water is only a small portion of what's actually lying beneath the surface. So the iceberg is also about hidden emotions, because water is representative of our emotions. So how do you make the best of today? By being fully aware of the whole picture and not just focusing on the tiny little bit that is visible and that you can see. So it's telling you that we need to explore a little bit further. We need to dig a little bit deeper. We need to look more than. So let's just do a bit of a recap here. So for all of you who chose the Chevron Amethyst Dragon's Tooth Crystal, the energy around you today is an energy of change, an energy of rebirth, an energy of a do-over. What can you expect? A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of focused attention. What you should avoid is you need to avoid losing things that matter, losing things that mean something, losing things that have always been permanent to you. And here, what is the, how to make the best of today by truly exploring the full picture. Don't react and respond to that tiny little bit that seems to be poking out the top. You need to dig deeper. You need to emotionally look further to see the whole situation and not just respond to the one tooth that may fall out. No teeth are falling out today, friends. I am sure of that. No teeth are harmed in the making of this video. So the iceberg is telling you to look at the big picture, to look at the full story. Don't respond to just that tiny little bit. Look deeper. Okay. And finally, what can you do today to turn your luck around? So if things are a little bit scary, if things are a little bit hair raising, if you are worried about losing something that has always been permanent, has always been a fixture or a part of your life, what can we do to turn your luck around? So if things are looking a bit dangerous, scary, daunting, whatever the words are, what can you do today to turn your luck around? And let's have a look and see what we've got. We have got card 48, and card 48 is the trumpet. The trumpet in South African terms was always known as the vuvuzela, and it's the thing that makes a lot of noise. So trumpet is also, when we look at tarot, when we look at oracle, when we look at connecting to spirit, trumpet is always associated with the spiritual vibration. Okay, it's communications from our loved ones, it's communications from spirit, it's spirit making a noise to grab our attention. So something, how do you, the question we were asking here is, how do you turn your luck around? By paying attention to the signs. Consider this a sign, friends. If you're watching this video, if you chose this crystal as the crystal that has the message, the reading that you need, this is spirit telling you, pay attention to the signs, listen to the call, listen to the call from spirit, pay attention to the signs and work with it. This is when, if you think about sitting quietly on a park bench and just listening to the sounds of the birds, and just being in the moment and being in the now, and all of a sudden somebody comes up behind you and blows a vuvuzela, you are going to, or blows a trumpet, you are going to jump sky high. You are going to get a fright. You are going to jump out of your skin. And this is exactly what spirit are doing. Spirit are trying to attract your attention. You cannot ignore the sound of a trumpet for long. Eventually it's going to get through. Doesn't matter how stubborn you are, it's going to get through. And this is what the trumpet is saying. Pay attention to the call. So how can you turn your luck around? By paying attention to the signs, paying attention to the spirit messages, and acting on it. If you leave it for too long, you're going to lose your teeth. Okay, we need to explore, we need to look. And again, bees work in a community, they work in a together, they do things as a group, as a community, all for the common goal. Change is happening whether you like it or not. That is what the energy that is around you today. You can expect hard work. We need to avoid loss at all costs. We need to make sure that we're seeing the full situation before we respond and before we react. And you need to pay attention to what spirit is saying in order to turn and change and go with the flow. All right, I'm loving this message. It's a really deep one. It's a really important one. And I do hope that it makes sense to you. I do hope that you can connect it to something in your life. We're going to have a look and get a message from the Forest Fae Oracle. Let's see what message the Forest Fae have for us today. Oh, look at that. We have the honey mother, so confirmation about the bee. And her message for you today is, sometimes the greatest magic lies in the smallest of forms. Isn't that just amazing? And look how beautiful she is. Just look at her. I love it. Absolutely. So again, pay attention to the spirit messages. Pay attention to what's coming from spirit. And, heed that. You have to do the work. It's not going to be done for you. It's not going to be given to you on a silver platter. You have to do the work. You have to do the things in order to achieve the rewards. If you ignore things for long enough, you're going to suffer the loss. And we need to avoid that at all costs. At all costs. Wow, friends, I do think this was quite a fabulous reading, quite a fabulous message, and I do hope it makes sense to you, and I do hope you're able to connect it with something in your life. And as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours, until we connect again. Take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the small Chevron Amethyst. as the crystal that has the reading, the message, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today on Friday the 13th. I have shuffled and laid out some cards that we're going to be working with today. And if you are interested or curious about the decks that I have used, please do check out the intro. All of that information is there on exactly what decks. And I know these decks that I've used today can be a little bit strange and can be a little bit peculiar, but I think that's exactly what we need for today, Friday the 13th. And today's reading on Friday the 13th, it's not about the negative, it's not about the bad that's going to happen. It's actually today I want to change your mindset on Friday the 13th, and I want you to see actually what a good luck day it actually is, and hoping we get a good reading. I have had so much fun doing the bundles 1, 2, and 3, so I'm really looking forward to bundle 4. I think it's going to be fabulous. So let's get straight into your reading and see what does Friday the 13th have in store for you. So we're starting off with this card over here, and this card over here is the energy that is around you today. So what's in the air, what's in the water, what's the energy around you today? Not necessarily what you will be feeling or dealing with, but what is the energy around you today? Let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh, I do love that. We have got the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is the karma card, okay? The Wheel of Fortune is the karma card that says that that wheel is spinning and you have no way of controlling the outcome. You have no way of controlling what it lands on. And whatever it lands on, you just have to accept. So the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, you can see how quirky, strange, and peculiar this deck is. Isn't it just gorgeous? I love it. So the Wheel of Fortune is basically saying to you that the energy around you today, it is just what it is. And sometimes we have to just accept that. We have to understand that we can't always control situations, circumstances, events, people's opinions, all of that kind of thing. That sometimes we just have to accept the hand that we dealt and work with that within the best way that we can. So that is the energy around you today. So today, Friday the 13th, it is going to be whatever it is. And we have to just accept that. All right. So that is the energy around you. Now we're going to look at these 4 cards over here. We're going to look at them one by one. I do want to just put out a disclaimer, put out a little bit of warning that some of these cards could look a little bit weird, a little bit creepy. Just bear with me because I've chosen these decks on purpose to work together because they do work so well together. Same creator, same energy, and honestly, it's going to help us. Just the readings that we're getting from these are just phenomenal today. So just bear with me and let's see what the reading brings up. So the energy around you today is the energy of the karmic wheel that you have to just accept the hand that you dealt, work with it. Don't always resist, don't always fight, don't always try and change. Just go with the flow and see where it takes you. What can you expect today, though? Today, Friday the 13th, what can you expect today? And we have got card 58, and card 58 is the card of Saturn. It's the planet with the rings. So Saturn, it's the only planet that stands out from the others. It's the only planet that's a little bit different. It's the only planet that has the rings around it. And that is all about authority. It's about control. It's about being seen more. It's about being noticed. It's about being more acknowledged, if I can put it that way. Saturn in itself as a planet isn't as significant as the sun, but because it's so different, because of its size, because of its structure, because of who and what it is, it seems to be more well known, more well recognized, and more well respected. Okay, so the message from the Saturn card is basically all about understanding adversity, understanding that it doesn't matter how bad things get. It doesn't matter, how if the odds are against you. And I'm saying that because of the Wheel of Fortune. It doesn't matter if the odds are against you. It doesn't matter if things seem to be like an absolute disaster. Actually embrace it. Embrace it. Let that debris that's floating around you, let it become those rings, because that's what makes you special. That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you super awesome. Okay, so today may be quite a simple and complicated day. You're just going to go through your business. You're just going to go through the motions as you ordinarily do, not really making too many changes or too many adjustments, just accepting it. But is telling you to take the debris that's floating around your life, bring it into line, and let that be your strength. Let that be what makes you stand out from the crowd. So what can you expect today? To be a little bit different. How's it? Let's just leave it at that. Today, what can you expect on Friday the 13th to be a little bit different, to stand out from the crowd, and to use what other people would see as debris and as mess and as chaos to really highlight your strengths and to make you Fabulous. I love that. All right. We're going to go on to our third card, and the question we're asking here is, what should you avoid? So here is the energy around you today. This is what you can expect, and this is what you should avoid today. Friday the 13th, what do you need to avoid? Of course, avoid the storm. So isn't it, we're stuck in the cosmos, we're stuck in we're stuck in the air today. All right, so we need to avoid the storm. Now, I mean, I don't think that card actually needs too much more explanation. So obviously, we're not talking actual weather storms here, okay? Although, depending where you are, that may be the case. But what it is, it's about turbulence, okay? Because a storm is something that happens quickly. Sometimes it can come unexpectedly. Sometimes you're not always aware of it. And even though you may be aware that there's a storm brewing, that there's a storm coming, you often don't know the severity of the storm until the storm is actually happening. So this is something that we need to avoid. So we need to make sure that we're not caught off guard. We need to make sure that we avoid turbulence, trouble, disaster at all costs. And remember, with this card over here, what can you expect today? Use the bad, use the debris, use the chaos around you to create your unique self, and avoid the chaos. Avoid getting stuck unprotected, unexpectedly in the storm. So it's about, as much as things are going to happen in the way that they're going to happen, because this is the energy around you today, as much as things are going to happen and you don't really have a lot of control over it, just like you don't have control over the storm. But I do think the message for you today is, if there's a storm brewing, get inside. Don't stand out there longer than you absolutely have to. Don't weather the storm without sufficient protection, and don't think that you're untouchable. Don't think that nothing bad will come to you and that you'll be okay in the storm. Rather, if you can see a storm brewing, get away from it. Move away from it. Avoid the storm at all costs today. And I think that's quite important. Friday the 13th, avoid the storms. All right. Part 4, the question we have here is how to make the best of today. So if there's a storm, if you find yourself lost in space, whatever it is that's going on in your life, how do you make the best of today? Let's see what the cards want to say. So how do you make the best of today? Right, so we have card 27, and card 27, as you can see here, is the wall, and we have this beautiful brick wall. So what is a brick wall? A brick wall is a structure that we put up voluntarily. We choose to put the wall up, and the wall either keeps us secure and safe, it puts a boundary around something. So it's either keeping you safe on the inside or it's keeping things on the outside out. So you've got to understand in which way is that. But it's also about boundaries, because, you know, in your home, you have a fence or you have a wall around your home that determines or shows the boundaries of what is yours and what's not yours. So it really is, how do you make the best of today is by recognizing what you can do and what you can't do. Recognizing what kind of a storm you can handle and manage and what kind of a storm you can't. It's about understanding that you don't have control over everything. And within that, within those no control, within that going with the flow, recognizing what it is that you're capable of doing. Can you put all your debris in a pretty line and make it a ring around you? Or do you need to remove yourself from the storm and not feel like that? So today, how to make the best of Friday the 13th. Be mindful of your boundaries, be mindful of your walls. Either decide they need to go up or decide they need to come down, but you need to make that decision. This is something that you do consciously, okay? This is something that you need to, and it's the way to make the best of today is by being mindful of boundaries and your protection. And don't feel like, remember, we're avoiding this. So you need to make sure that your walls are up to keep you safe from the storm, okay? I think that's quite an appropriate, relevant message. And now we're going to go into our 5th card over here. And this one, what can you do to turn your luck around? So it is Friday the 13th, which carries such negative connotations and such bad vibes and superstitions. So today, for Friday the 13th, what can you do to turn your luck around today? Let's have a look and see. Oh, wow. I have to say to you that these 2 cards have made quite a few appearances in today's readings, and I keep shuffling them back into the deck and they keep coming out. So clearly they have a lot of messages for us. So today, what can you do to turn your luck around? So with the water, okay, so card 18 and card 18 of water, we have to understand that water is life, okay? Without water, humans, plants, animals, none of us would survive if we didn't have water. We have an abundance of water. The storm is happening, all right? And we have all this water coming down at us. But we also need to understand that water is life. Okay, we also have to understand that water represents our subconscious thoughts, our subconscious emotions, and the things that happen under the surface. So whenever this water card comes up, for me, I always ask myself, what am I not seeing here? Okay, I can see the surface of the water, I can see the waves, and I can see the ripples and all of that, but I cannot see what's beneath, I cannot see what's under. So the question we're asking is, how can you turn your luck around today? And this card is telling you, look beneath the surface before you make any decisions, before you make any judgments, before you make any actions, before you do anything. Make sure that you know exactly what's happening here. Remember, water is life. It's necessary. We need it. We want it. We want it. But too much of it is going to be bad for you. Too little of it is bad for you. But you also need to make sure that what you're consuming or what you're taking in, the water that's there, that it is pure, clean, fresh, and appropriate for whatever it is that you're doing. So let's have a look at these 5 cards again. The energy around you today is the energy of karma. The karmic wheel turns. You have no control over it. You cannot change it. You cannot speed it up. You cannot slow it down. And you have to just accept wherever it lands and whatever comes up. All right. So that is the energy around you today. What you can expect, though, is to take what would ordinarily be a bad situation and make it into a positive. Take advantage and let that be your strength. Let that be what makes you stand out from the crowd. What you should avoid is you need to avoid chaos, you need to avoid drama, you need to avoid the storm at all costs. And how to make the best of today is to have your protections up, to recognize boundaries, to recognize limits and restrictions, and to make sure that they are appropriate and relevant at all times. And how can you turn your luck around? By allowing the emotions to flow, but also being very mindful of what lies beneath those emotions and not allow yourself to get caught off guard. Okay, I think that's actually quite an awesome message for Friday the 13th. And now we're going to have a look at this oracle card. And this oracle card comes from the Forest Fae Oracle. And let's see what message it has for us today. We have got the Numina. And its message is to seek inspiration in twilight wanderings. Oh, I love that. How gorgeous is she? I love the hair. Look how she looks so, I want to say she looks so in control. She looks so confident. She looks like she knows exactly who she is. She doesn't need any external validation. She's incredibly comfortable with herself, with who she is. But the message that we have here is to seek inspiration in twilight wanderings. So, twilight. Twilight's reference here brings us back to these 2 cards. And it's saying seek inspiration in twilight wanderings. Twilight wanderings is what we do when nobody else is around. It's a solitary thing. It's when everything is quiet, when everything is still, when there's no chaos, no movement, no activity, no action. And in that moment of stillness, in that moment of quiet, we can seek inspiration. And maybe it's when we've got out of the storm, we've looked under the water, we've got our boundaries in place. That's when we can assess our situation, what's exactly going on around us, and seek the inspiration in that. So I do think she's telling you, trust yourself only, listen to yourself only, but in order to do that, you have to go quiet. So if you are stressed with anything, if there's any chaos in your life, if Friday the 13th is going pear-shaped, be quiet, go still, go calm your waters down, put your boundaries in place, remove yourself from the storm, and just be. And that's where you will find your solutions, your answers, your inspiration, and your guidance. I love that. So Fred's not so bad after all. I do hope that you enjoyed your reading. I do hope that it makes sense to you in a certain aspect of your life, relevant to something that's going on with you at the moment. I hope your Friday the 13th is as amazing and as fabulous as it can be. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again. Bye.